welcome. We are so excited to have you with us today, and we're going to dive right in for the sake of time. Today, we're going to be talking all about why nutrition matters in planning for fertility. I am Jessie Heckroth, and we are Beyond Nutrition Company, and we're so excited to have you here with us today. So first thing I want to highlight, and something that you may already know, is that 10% of women in the United States have difficulty getting or staying pregnant. This stat, I think, is really eye-opening to me personally, in that there's so many women who are suffering in silence trying to conceive and build their families. And ultimately, my mission is to help support women in that. That brings me to, hi, I am so happy that you're here. I'm Jessie, a registered dietitian nutritionist, and I'm also a mom, which is something I wasn't always sure I would be able to say. And I am happily married to my husband, Matt. I'm also the owner and founder of Beyond Nutrition Company. And as I've alluded to at this point, I too am a fertility warrior. So why are we here? My personal experience, I struggled with infertility and overcame distress with my body. And now I've made it my personal mission to help women do the same. This rolls me into my specialty, which is teaching women how nutrition supports their body and their lifestyle. And ultimately, my mission and my purpose is to support women to gain the confidence to understand, nourish, and trust their bodies. So what a lot of you may not know is that every single cell in your body is impacted by how you nourish it. First and foremost, it impacts your egg quality. And as we all know, we need to have healthy egg quality to be able to conceive and have a healthy pregnancy. And these eggs within your ovaries require a lot more energy and fuel than normal cells within our body. So that's why it's really important to make sure that you're eating enough and getting proper nourishment so that you can have as high quality of eggs as possible, so ultimately able to conceive and be successful in your goals. Next, nutrition impacts our hormone production, which is needed for regular ovulation to allow for pregnancy to occur. So if your body does not feel safe to ovulate, you can't get pregnant. So we need to make sure that we are using nutrition to support your body's hormones so your cycle starts to function just like clockwork. So we can easily identify your fertile window so we know when to time intercourse appropriately to help you achieve pregnancy. Lastly, nutrition impacts healthy uterine lining, which is needed for the embryo to be able to implant into pregnancy. So all of these things are ultimately deeply important for your fertility, and your cells require adequate nutrition to fuel the reproductive system. So we work with a lot of women who are struggling to conceive, and I just want to highlight some of the common pitfalls we continue to witness and these commonalities that we've seen over time. So the first struggle we often see, and that I personally experienced myself and with a lot of women in my own life, is that there's such a shortage of collaborative and holistic medical support. So often, I'm sure you're aware, it's so difficult to get an appointment with your OBGYN or other medical professional to really talk through your health goals and discuss everything you have going on in your physical body, all of the signs and symptoms it's trying to tell you. And oftentimes those visits are 15 minutes, and it's really difficult to feel like someone truly knows you and your life and what you're experiencing with that short amount of time. And oftentimes women are just told to try for a year and come back if they're not successful. And that's just really difficult to try to do that on your own without any resources or any support. And it starts to feel like you're wasting time, and we don't always have time to waste, especially if you're wanting to grow bigger families or you're at a place in your life where you've carved out the opportunity to start a family. It's important for us to be able to try and to have people who listen to us and support us in that experience. And right now, that's not always the case that's set up for most women. The next one is lack of education on nutritional needs and fertility. A lot of this stuff just, quite frankly, isn't taught. And then there's also a lot of misinformation out there on what you should or shouldn't be doing. So this is a huge struggle that I see women facing. They just aren't getting the right evidence-based information. Third is the lack of support that is focused entirely on your body and your experiences. So we all have unique experiences and in our life, and we all have unique health histories. And it's important for us to have support that is based on our own individual lives instead of just following whatever someone else did. Then the last thing is trying to find community. Whether it's through social media or trying to educate ourselves, along the way, we often see women who are relying on diet culture or influencer marketing. And one of my side missions is to prevent women from getting exploited for the sake of other people to make money off of them. There's a lot of people out there in the world profiting off of women not understanding their bodies or feeling less than about their bodies. And that's a huge problem. And really, every woman who comes to see us comes from a place of deeply wanting to understand and care for their bodies, but just not knowing how or who to trust. So the Beyond Nutrition Co. approach is basically trying to put together all of these puzzle pieces on all of these different things. We've made it our mission to try and solve all of these as best as we can. And we believe that starts by creating a plan that is as unique as you are. So what that means is we want to put together a holistic health view, nutritional counseling, fertility education, and community support, all under one comprehensive umbrella that allows you to get the support that you need in order to be successful. So what does that look like? This looks like adding extra support to your medical team, which would be me. So having a holistic health view starts with understanding who you are. And what I mean by that is, what is your family history? What is your health history? What are your medical results? What's your lifestyle and goals? We need to dig deeper to understand what your body is physically telling us. Next is the nutritional counseling element. So our team of professionally trained licensed women's health dietitians work to educate women on how to truly nourish your body within your lifestyle. So our goal is to highlight where you really need to focus your efforts to see success so your body feels safe to ovulate and have a healthy pregnancy. We also help you take a look at what you're currently doing and maybe what you don't need to do in terms of supplements. And ultimately, we really just want to help you build a healthy foundation that will support you not only through your fertility, but beyond. We really want to empower you to have the skills and the tool set so that you can live a more fulfilled life when it comes to nourishing your body now and for the rest of your life. So the next thing is fertility counseling. We have a passion for educating women on their hormone cycles to empower them to understand and build trust within their bodies. So this goes back to the lack of education that we see around not only just women's health in general, but especially our menstrual cycles. We really want to help provide the education for women so they can take back that understanding about who we are and what's going on and what our body's trying to tell us. We have a huge passion for looking at our bodies and within our bodies so we can help you understand and navigate these things better. Then lastly is community support. So we fully believe that bringing women together is powerful, and we feel called to create a community with like-minded women who are ready to achieve their goals. So we've built a community around women who are ready to move forward and do more, and we are excited to hopefully invite you into that community today. So before we get into all of that, I'd love to take a minute and share some of my client stories. I think this is the best way to kind of see all this in action and show you the proof is in the pudding. So the first story is Emily. So when she first came to us, she was having really heavy, painful periods. She was having a regular monthly cycle, and she had been trying to conceive for a year, and she was timing intercourse appropriately, but was not having any success in getting pregnant. Once we talked a little bit more, we were able to identify that she had a really stressful job and often forgot to eat. We did some testing, and that confirmed that she had elevated estrogen levels and poor detoxification within the body. So we got to work, and we recommended having consistent nourishment with tailored meal plans. So we were able to prioritize nutrients to improve her estrogen detoxification, and also had some targeted nutritional supplementation to, again, really support her specific needs. We also had to discuss her work and her daily life and set some boundaries with work. So she was able to honestly achieve and do all of these recommendations. So as you can see here, we took a look at what her daily nutrition was like, what her daily life is like, and also looked at the medical component and what was going on within her body. Once she implemented those interventions, she was able to have no more painful periods, so she didn't have to call out of work or miss out on fun events with friends and family. And then 4 months later, she was able to get pregnant and excited for the next chapter. So the next story is Jill. She was a little bit more complex as she's diagnosed with PCOS, hypothyroidism, IBS, anxiety, depression, and had a history of eating disorder. She had been off birth control for a year, but hadn't seen a period or any signs of a period during that time. Once we did our full initial assessment, we were able to identify that she was under eating. But it's also important to note that she thought she had done all the work to improve her relationship with food, and she did have a healthy relationship with food, but it still turned out that she was just not eating enough to support her lifestyle. That's important to note. And that's just really hard for you to be able to identify in a physician setting, because you often, again, don't have very much time with them. And oftentimes they're not asking many questions about how are you eating? What is your daily life like? What's your activity levels like? So we really are able to help you identify that, make sure that your nutrition is up to par. We also identified that she was over-exercising as well. So what we recommended was we wanted her to increase her intake slowly. So we were really aware of her history of an eating disorder and wanted to make sure that she felt safe as she increased her intake. We also worked to rebalance her macronutrients with a tailored meal plan. And we do this just through education, so you feel confident to build your plate. We don't need to weigh your foods or anything like that. So we also recommended a high-quality prenatal vitamin and omega-3. Just given her history, we were able to identify that she was pretty undernourished at this point, and also wanted to support some of her health conditions as well. We also worked to decrease her activity levels so her body would feel less stressed and there'd be less inflammation. We also really had to touch on a supportive mindset through our entire work together, just as she worked through some of these challenges. And ultimately, the result was that she had a healthy full-term baby, and we were also able to improve her fertility, digestion, mood, and well-being. And we also helped support her in renewing her body confidence and trusting her body that it was capable. So what we're offering today is a 3-month program to help you work towards your fertility needs and ultimately conceive. So the first leg of this is medical support. So what we're offering is a comprehensive lab panel and 3 one-on-one sessions. That comprehensive lab panel is what it is in the name. It's really comprehensive. We're getting an idea of your hormone levels, of inflammation within the body, insulin resistance, and a full thyroid panel to really get an idea of your baseline. Our first one-on-one is just a little get to know you welcome call to assess your history, medications, and goals and get your labs ordered. Then our next one-on-one is really an intensive strategy call to review your blood work and design a fertility plan that is unique to you. And we do this together in collaboration. And then lastly, the one-on-one goal review session is for check-in and to optimize your plan. And this one is available to you whenever you really feel you need some support to check in and see how you're doing and maybe navigate some challenges that have come along the way. The second piece of this is education and tools. So we've talked a lot about our mission is to empower you. So we want to make sure that you feel that you've got everything you need in order to start to move towards those results that you're hoping to get. So the first is personalized diet, supplement, and lifestyle suggestions to support your fertility journey. You also get 6 science-based self-guided video modules to get your body and spirit set up for success. And then lastly, you get exclusive access to relevant information, including meal plans, recipes, and online course materials. So we really want you to have the opportunity to self-serve so you can kind of get started and dig into things. Then the third piece is we want to have community. So now that we know who you are as a person and you've gotten started learning some of these great ways you can support your body, the last part is community. So we have a place to talk about all these things and support each other. So as a part of this 3-month program, we have 5 bi-weekly Zoom group sessions with an expert women's health dietitian to work through roadblocks and just to talk about what you're going through. Then we also have unlimited email and message support between appointments and a community with other like-minded women on a similar journey as you. So the 3 of these different pillars together really allows you to set your body, mind, and spirit up for success to go on this journey. And in terms of costs associated to it, this program itself is $400 a month. So the best part of this is that we are licensed health professionals as dietitians. We are able to offer super bills. So if you want to submit for insurance reimbursement, that's totally up to you. We're happy to support you in that. And there's a good chance you could be potentially reimbursed for some of this. Also happy to provide payment plans as well if that's necessary and needed. Then in terms of the 3-month program, this is like a timeline of what it looks like. So we touched on the one-on-one calls, that initial welcome call to get your labs ordered. That's the first week. And then the second week, we dive in and make your individual preconception plan and set our goals. And then on week 3, the group calls start on their bi-weekly cadence. And then in terms of the self-guided modules, you get started with establishing baselines. And that's where we're really digging into your hormonal baseline, your nutrient baseline and your symptom baseline. So you go through those modules and do this associated homework. And then we have our group session to really dive into where everyone came out and what questions and where you want to get started on implementing things. And then the next module is fertility nutrition. So we start out with some really high level nutrition information for you to feel confident as you implement this. We also encourage mindful eating so that you're better attuned to your body's cues so that you feel confident that you know what your body needs. And then we dive into healthy hormones, again, getting to know all that menstrual cycle. But not only that, that's just one piece of it. Now we need to understand where your body might not be quite in sync and how we need to support it. Then we get into supportive patterns, things like circadian rhythm, movement, sleep, and stress management. And then we really hone in on setting the environment on Module 5, looking at gut health and hormone disruptors. And then Module 6 is everyone's favorite module, Let's Get Pregnant. And that last check-in call is available to you anytime during these 3 months for whenever you need that support most. So you might be asking yourself, why is it 3 months, not 1, not 6? I know that'd be nice if it were just 1, but we've set it up in 3 months because we truly believe it takes that long of staying accountable and being focused to improve your egg quality, improve your inflammation within your body, and improve your uterine lining. And not only that, but the things that you do today will impact you 3 months from now. So you really want to stay in this together, stay focused to really get you to your goals. So if this is something that you think would be helpful for you, we would love to support you. These are my handles. Feel free to screenshot this or whatever you need to do, write it down. Message me if you have questions, email me, whatever you need to do. But we would love to have you on our next group program. Thanks so much for joining, everyone.